Hello, everyone. I don't know if I was holding that long enough to do the whole thing with the intro, but welcome to WineShark Wednesday. It is I, your host, the WineShark. Welcome back from our brief little visit from our friend from Scarborough Fair. Thank you, 100 subscriber people, for making Flynn's visit possible. That was fun and kind of silly and oddly odd. Without being able to, hear and see an audience, it's always weird to put on the character and do the act. So I hope everybody's having an excellent week. We're just going to have some casual talk today. Talk a little bit about upcoming plans, etc. Oh, hello there, Ms. Dave and Mary. We are doing just fine up here. The spring day is kind of cloudy. We're rolling through with rain this week, but better now than on my weekends. So hope you guys are a nice Minnesota, actual getting some spring in Minnesota. It's about time, being that May is here and all. We're hitting out of that very rough spring weather that North Texas is known for. So storms and then nice sun, and then storms and then nice sun. So today it's just kind of a hanging out and being gray kind of day. So let's see. No topic today, just some topical chat, RE WineShark, and then we're going to dive into the grocery store grab. So likely a fairly short show, just FYI. So a couple of things I've been thinking about. I just want to say thank you for everybody for coming out and joining me last week at the Reunion Tower for New World Wines. We had a lot of fun up there, and we're going to be continuing to do some shows. I'll talk about formatting and stuff for that a little bit later. But that's going to be a heck of a lot of fun. We basically have worked through the summer and getting some dates up there to do various projects. The tower will continue, so I'm very pleased to be able to announce that. And the next show, it will be on the 13th of June. I'll talk about that in a minute. But other 2021 upcoming things I've wanted to get in front of people, early attention, early announcement, if you will. Totally a warning order level of stuff, not really detailed and fleshed out yet, but we are coming back to the world of travel and being able to have some relatively normal interactions with folks. So come the fall, I have a couple of plans that are trying to get planned and in motion. So for first things first, as you guys know, I went down to Fredericksburg a couple weeks back. As a scouting mission for a potential Texas wine tour. So I'm going to start planning the schedule for that. It will likely happen, I'm thinking late September would be the ideal time. In Texas, we tend to harvest kind of early, and we, of course, do have a lot of heat. So I want to do my best to avoid that without waiting too long. I'd kind of like to get in on just at the end of the harvest period would hopefully be a fun time to be around. Although they don't do a ton of harvesting local, they certainly will be. Any of the vineyards that are local will get that treatment. So it'd be kind of fun to be down there during that. And so what this tour is going to look like is probably a 4-day tour. It's a Wednesday through Saturday, but it will be a series of tour location shows, probably 2 to 3 events per day, with tickets sold in advance to each one of these events. So we might have an on-premise winery tour and tasting. So let's say we're going to try and visit William Chris Winery. I'll basically set it up, arrange it, have a private tasting for us exclusively hosted by me, hopefully with some fun guest stars from the winery. And then you can purchase tickets to that basically in advance and show up as you want. Same thing, hosted wine picnic, for instance. We'll probably do that once or twice during the run. Hosted wine dinners, coordinate with the restaurant, have everything kind of arranged. I'll make sure I'll do all the menu, all the wine pairing. We'll do a whole kind of interactive kind of show where I basically demonstrate some of their wine, their foods, etc., with a real focus on some of the Texas selections that we'll be trying locally. So this is going to be, you'll arrange your travel, you'll arrange your accommodations. Getting to and from is basically a completely free-form thing for you. You'll just be joining me at those locations. So it's really loose, really easy to participate. If you want to come up just for a day on, the Saturday event because you can, or if you want to take off work on Friday and come join us for the evening, or whether you've got to make some committed travel plans and you're going to be there all week and just want to run through a couple of things. You can go free to roam on your own sometimes. You can join us for everything that you want to, and you can just dial in how much WineShark you can handle. So that's theoretically September, although my potential audience who may or may not want to join me, I would love to hear your feedback for availability. What I'm probably going to do is throw out some date ranges in either a poll in the newsletter or on WineShark or on Facebook, and I'll figure out a way to collect some data and see when, if anybody is interested, when they might be interested. Because I understand everybody's got different schedules, and obviously I don't want to show up on 4 days when none of you guys are available. That's called vacation, not a tour. So anyway, the other thing is, of course, a return to doing the California wine tour. We paused that. We didn't do in 2019 and 2020 for various reasons. 2019, we just didn't get enough interest to get something together. And then 2020 was obviously a complete shit show. So this case, we're going to get back on the horse and go back and visit California. Now, this is a 5-day, 4-night, all expenses paid once you're on the ground. You fly to Sacramento, we pick you up, we drop you off back for your plane on Sunday. So it goes a Wednesday through Sunday format. And after you're on the ground and you're in our hands, you are completely, basically wallet free. All of your travel, all your tours, all your meals, all your accommodations, they're all taken care of. And it's a real fun, bespoke thing for no more than 8 people. So it's a very small touring group, rather intimate. And then we're going to go around this time. I think we're going to have a focus on Lodi, Sonoma, and possibly Clear Lake as the areas we're going to go adventure to. Although, if we do get I've already started to hear rumors and questions about this, people making at least verbal commitments of wanting to do it. If the numbers are what I think they might be, we might do 2 tours. I do back-to-back, each one with some slightly different possible locations. So we might have one that's the Lodi, Sonoma, Napa. We might do the other one that is Lodi, Lodi, Sonoma, Clear Lake, because those places are a little farther north, for instance. So if you're interested in those things, keep your eyes out. Patreon members, for all of my Patreon members, you guys are going to get advance notice and first shots at all tickets involving any of the tours. Okay, so you'll get a preview section where you can buy tickets to any one of these, or pre-reserve your tickets to any one of the tours that we're looking for. And then they'll go on for the rest of the general public, and we'll see if we can't have a great time drinking some wine together. So anyway, I just wanted to say that that's something that I've been working on over the last week, looking at the economics of it, looking at the practicality, and I think that, the country's getting itself back on horse. I mean, I'm all vaccinated. Everybody else I know is getting really vaccinated, and as slowly but surely we're getting back to some kind of normal. So I hope that we can enjoy some wine together here coming in the fall. So without further ado and adoration, let's talk about today's grocery store grab. Once again, the grocery store grab is our premise is to get the best value per dollar out of wines found at non-specialty and non-big box retailers. For those that don't have the opportunity to shop at a fine wine store or a big box retailer or anything like that, grocery stores can be a convenient, although sometimes confusing place to try and buy wine, especially because there's usually not an expert hanging around to give you assistance. So we consequently rely on the label of the wine to really do a lot of the heavy lifting and learn how to read wine labels and identify what a good wine label looks like to tell us what hopefully is good wine inside. The price points vary all over the place, but most grocery stores aren't selling wildly expensive wines, so they tend towards the $10 to $25 range. So today's selection, I'm going to switch over to my images here. In honor of Flynn, because of the way that my brain tends to work, I've been thinking about this. We're doing Spyglass Cabernet Sauvignon from Paso Robles, California. So this caught my attention just in perusing the overall shopping area. This label looked rather dramatic. It's got this dark, tall, galleon-looking ship with nice copper-colored metallic labeling. So it was rather dramatic and rather pretty. So I picked it up and decided that this kind of fits exactly what we're looking for here. What we want to know, we don't choose these with prior research, but what we want to know is what's in the bottle? The answer we're getting here: it's Cabernet Sauvignon. Very plain, very good. It's made by Spyglass, which is good. We know that going in. We want to know where the grapes are grown. The more specific, the better. So this gives us the idea that it's from Paso Robles, California. Paso Robles is an AVA, an American viticultural area that actually used to be a very large 600,000 some odd acres. It was the largest in California, and then they subdivided it into 11 different smaller regions, each with its own character. It's very popular in my vision right now. It's very highlighted because they're doing a lot of dynamic, exciting, and exploratory things in Paso Robles with styles that will range from pardon my they'll range anywhere from the Rhone to Italy to California specific to Spanish style. They got all kinds of stuff going on. So really fun stuff that I've had at Paso Robles. So that caught my attention as well. Then we also, of course, want to know, what does the wine taste like? Well, usually we don't find that on the front of the label. We find it on the back. And on the back of the label here, it gives us that information: Spyglass, Cabernet Sauvignon, Paso Robles. But it says, set sail with this seaworthy wine from Paso Robles. I'm not sure what makes it seaworthy, but that's kind of a cool, at least a nod to their premise. So, the influence of coastal winds and deep volcanic soils will navigate your taste buds to nuanced flavors of black cherry and blackberry. Anchors away. And they even spelled away correctly. So, it was short, to the point. Doesn't have to be complicated. They're not giving us much in the word of flavor words, but they're at least not either overdoing it, they're not over marketing it, and they're not making wild, they're being very direct. They're not making wild claims. So bravo on that. Then that's pretty much it. I mean, it tells us where it's from. It tells us what it's supposed to taste like. We're kind of ready to roll and see what we're like. So in pouring this up, it's definitely got the dark kind of concentrated colors that Cabernet Sauvignon is known for. And we're going to try and answer three basic questions, by the way. Is it well executed? Is the wine well made? Is it on style? Does it correspond to any given area's particularly known style? For instance, the difference between a Burgundian Pinot Noir and a Willamette Valley Oregon Pinot Noir can be very different. Okay. We're also going to look at, was it worth the price tag? The bottom line here is will we buy this again? Is it worth the, by the way, $18 that we spent on this particular cab? So I'm a big believer in that $15 to $25 price point is usually a great point where you're going to get good value and you're going to get place-specific wines that taste like where they're from, that have unique styles. So I'm holding up high hopes for our Spyglass here. So let's see. Like I said, big, deep, earthy, kind of ruby colored and concentrated. It's got all those things going on for it. On the nose, it definitely has a lot going on in the glass, so hooray there. Very intense. It's definitely picking up those dark fruits like blackberries and black cherries. I can really see the aromas of those things coming out of the glass, and so I think their bottle labeling is very accurate. There's not much else. Maybe a hint of pipe tobacco, or even kind of a soft suede leather in the back, but it's very faint. It is definitely what I would call a fruit-forward wine. Now, I just opened this bottle. It may open up a little bit more after time. Cabernets are a big style of wine and definitely could deserve a little extra time in the air. Although this is a young wine, probably designed to be consumed young as well. I mean, this is a 2018 Cabernet Sauvignon. Now, they didn't tell me anything on the bottle about how long it was aged, but on average, I mean, young cabs are going to run probably right around 6 months to a year in the bottle, in the bottling and aging process timeline. Longer versions might double that easily, or if you're on a Spanish program, you might take that times up to 5. But I'm not betting for this price point that they're doing a big long aging program, maybe 12 to 18 months. But it doesn't dominate with a ton of oak either, so that's good. It means that they're obviously being judicious with that. So let's take a taste. Okay. It is an iconic California big boy. Tannins are all around the mouth. Dark fruits continue everywhere the tannins touch. Again, it is definitely well executed. I don't detect any flaws. It's not overly oaked. It's not overly tannic. Everywhere the tannins touch, it brings that carrier of flavor along with it. The fruit is not quite monodimensional. There's a little bit more. There's these little hints of more red fruit and stone and like wet stone later in the palate that kind of develop into the finish, which is nice. So it's not just this one. Hey, here's some blackberry jam and I'm done. But I don't really it doesn't really carry a lot of nuance to the thing, despite what their label said. I don't know that those are necessarily, I would call them nuanced flavors. They're very, instead to me, seem rather direct, which is not a bad thing. Yeah, mid palate, full bodied. It tends to be a little bit more front of the mouth than in the middle and the back. But I think that's its kind of its style showing. This is a pretty young and aggressive style of cab. Not unpleasant at all. Really very drinkable. Is it worth the price tag? Oh yeah. It doesn't. It isn't quite as mid palate friendly as some other cabs in the same price range, but other cabs in the same price range also don't have that kind of fruit weight that this is bringing. So I definitely think that it's worth the $18. It's on style for certain, and Paso Robles has kind of its own take on Cabernet Sauvignon as well. This isn't definitely isn't as big as some of the big huge cabs that you're going to get out of Napa area, but for the price that you're paying, you shouldn't be expecting that. At the $18 price point, this is perfectly capable of carrying the day. It would make both a excellent wine to hang out and talk with friends and sit on the couch kind of thing, a couch wine, or with the proper food preparations, this could be a nice little food accompaniment if you give this some fat to hang on to and some salt. Give that classic combination of some bigger cheeses, like Parmesan and cheddar and maybe even some smoked Gouda, things that have a little effort going on. Then of course, as far as protein preparations, beef's going to be a first thing that people think of, but you could go anywhere from barbecue and burgers all the way up to beef ribs and things like that. So not really a wildly expensive way to get there either, to be honest with you. So I'm pretty pleased. I think that the Spyglass is doing a good job. Now, in looking up their my little label shot, I was able to. I went directly to their website to grab that, and was pretty impressed that they've got a very simple website. This, I believe, is the only wine that they're producing. So they're starting off with just kind of a single program, and there's always said the winemakers are listed as just two folks. I'm kind of curious as to whether they are just a small operation who's got a big distributor attached to them, or whether it's a subgroup or something like that. So it's kind of interesting to tell when we talk about things like Paso Robles. There's a lot of just small producers who are out there just kind of kicking ass, doing their own thing, and then if they make good enough juice, they'll end up joined up to somebody that can help carry their wine to places like this. I got this one at a Kroger, for instance. So obviously they've got some distribution and some reach. They're producing enough of it to get out there, which is good. And then here on the website, it also says that they won a silver medal at the San Francisco Chronicle Wine Competition, which is a pretty prestigious wine competition. So silver medal is certainly nothing to snort at. They have the full details on their wine here too, which I appreciate as a som. Again, this is stuff you're not going to find on a bottle. You probably don't need to find it on a bottle. But if you're looking up wine and without having tasted it, it can be good. So it tells us things like the alcohol at 13.5, the tartratable acidity is 0.61, which is grams per liter overall, and a residual sugar of 0.21. So non-detectable, totally dry. pH at 3.6 is pretty decent for a red wine, keeping some acidity in there. So that's nice for your mouth, kind of keeps the juices flowing. Now, on their website, they say that the layered palate features bright red fruits with bold framework and structured tannins. I would agree with both of those statements, although I wouldn't go red fruit because I'm thinking more dark black cherry and blackberry in my world are black fruits, not red fruits. Even though cherries are red, black cherries definitely taste dark, and sour, and concentrated. So anyway, Spyglass, good juice. I am impressed. I would definitely try this again. I think you guys should go out and try a bottle o' your own and see if you guys can find one and enjoy it yourself. So, all right, other things that are up and coming. Tomorrow, the 13th of May, Merlot, the $25 to $35 range. For those of you that are my Patreons, I will be getting your Patreon benefit codes done tomorrow. I have been running behind this week. I've got behind on both pushing videos out to production because I had a bottleneck with my Venmo, with my Vimeo, which is the platform that I host the videos on. So Vimeo and I were having an argument. But we'll get videos out, we'll get codes up, we'll be good to go on that. So Merlot, 25 to 35 tomorrow. This weekend at the Renaissance Festival. If you guys are joining Flynn at SRF, you can come see the Wines of France. I will tell you, we're going to get pink 3 times. That's going to be fun. Then we're going to, by the way, for ticketing for that, yes, they're sold out online. In fact, I think pretty much every show for the rest of the year is sold out online. We always have tickets available at the festival, so don't hesitate to come to the festival. Make your way down to the Cat and Fiddle next to the Joust. Come find me, and I will gladly take care of you with tickets. Okay. So then 27th of May, the next online tasting, the next Zoom tasting will be Will It Blend Part 4, probably the final Will It Blend for the year. And we're going to do New World Reds. Paso Robles is probably going to be featured in there too, by the way, as they're making some excellently California-styled red blends. So I'm probably, and when I say New World in this, I might even actually revise that to be California-styled reds. The style that I think really has revitalized this blend concept within America is that California blend style. So I'm probably going to do one of the icons that brought us there, and then I'll do something new that many people haven't yet tried. Like we tried the Dow Pessimist a while back in a separate show that was really good, but we're not going to do that one again. But we're gonna be twisting on that. We've had a lot of fun blends out of the area. So then the next live tasting at Reunion Tower is on the 13th of June, as I mentioned earlier. But the 13th of June, if you check your calendars, is a Sunday. We're not doing a Friday format anymore. We're doing a Sunday afternoon format. So we'll start the show at 5, wrap up by 7. So you'll catch the sun, just the beginning of the sunset. You can get down on the geodeck and enjoy the sunset and watch the city come alive for the evening and be home at a reasonable hour. So we'll do, again, 5 different wines with a whole theme we're going to go through throughout the summer of the Summer Splash theme. The first one we're going to do is poolside theme. So we're going to be doing a lot of lighter, low intensity, easy for outside. We're getting into the heat of summer, so let's get the cool wine on. We would love to sit around and sip poolside. So if you guys like it, lighter style, definitely a show to show up at. All right. So any other questions? I mean, Donna and Mary and David, you guys have questions there? The visitors that I can see right now that at least have said hello to chat. I'll give you a minute to catch up because there's that weird delay that I still haven't really been able to truly time and figure out yet. But yeah, I'm excited for the upcoming shows, and I'm very excited to be thinking about the tours again. I think that's going to be a lot of fun, and for many of you that I haven't had a chance to, first off, that I haven't had a chance to visit with in forever, or more importantly, if you've never had a chance to hang out with me, it's a really fun experience where you're going to get kind of a deep dive, like for the California trip, you're going to get a deep dive into California wine history, come see my backyard and where I grew up, and really get to meet everything from, do everything from big wine places to small wine places, meet winemakers, meet some of the fun folks that make this amazing product possible. Laszlo will not be coming with us. I don't care what he thinks. Do you want to go to the winery? Is that what you want to say? You want to be a winery dog? You could probably make a pretty good winery dog. Yeah, I bet you could. Anyway, all right. Well, guys, I want to say thank you all very much. Once again, I have been your WineShark. If you like what we're doing here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the videos. If you guys have questions and catch them up, comments are always welcome. I'm really looking for you guys to start contributing some question ideas so that I can make sure I'm doing content that you guys care about. So don't hesitate to get down there in that comment section. If you really want to support us as well, and get a deeper side of content, plus of course discounts, early access, and exclusive content, come check me out over on Patreon. And then always come, let's have a glass of wine together sometime at a private wine tasting. So until your next time, folks, I have been your wine shark. Cheers. And the dogs are going wild. We've got flapping of ears and crazy business. Who knows what's going on? Oh, I know. Oh, there you are. You're in the camera.